Therefore they're called concubines, Lashon Palga, language of half. Shiatzab Michlal Biyah, that it's out of the boundary of the worlds of B'Yetzir Asiyah, L'chlal Eser Sfiros Tatzilus Loba, but still has not reached the level of the 10 Sfiros of Atzilus. Ukamo Pilagesh Begashmis, just like physically the concubine Yatsa Michlal Shivcha Ve'ama, that she's no longer considered just a maidservant or a slave, L'chlal Isha Gemura Lo Basa, but has not reached the level of a full wife. Valderat say Shlomarinyan Braisos, and similarly we can say the concept of the Braisos Kimasnis in Malkasa, because the Mishnah is the queen. V'nimshach Bahem Ha'or Mebichinas Chochma Ilah, and is drawn into them the light from the supernal wisdom. V'zeu hamashol k'mo sheholech etzel ishto b'farhasya, and that's like somebody who goes to their wife openly. The relationship is open, and everybody knows about it. Dahinu midas yom, that's the attribute of the daytime. Shu or v'giloi, which is light in revelation. Masha einkin etzel pelag sheholech b'matmonim, which is not the case with his concubine. You go in secret. Hainu midas laila v'choshech, that is the attribute of night and darkness. She'ein or hachachma ba b'giloi, that the light of wisdom does not shine in her in this concept in a revealed state, rak b'derech chelem v'hester, but in a hidden and concealed way. Al derech shamru razal b'machshakim hoshivani, zeh Talmud Bavli, like our sages said about the difference between Talmud Bavli and Talmud Yerushalmi, that the verse that you have placed me in darkness, that refers to Talmud Bavli. And concerning Braisa, so in the Erchia Kinoim in Pardes, so it explains the word bar, the word outside, and so it says Bitikunim Perush Rashbiel Shalom Bepasuk Nashkuvar. So in Tikkun Zohar, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Olav Shalom explains in the verse, kiss the outside or become pure, because the righteous person, when he's exiled and descends from his place, it's called the outside, the language of the Braisa, which is outside, to be exiled from your place, like a concept of Gerushin. It's a positive idea. But it's an external Braisa in comparison to the Mishnah, because the tzaddik is lost, and the river is dried and desolate. And she went into exile. It's a concept of the flow in exile. And according to the Me'orei Or, the word bar refers to the outside, the yisod. I guess it's because lebar megufa, kishu begalus lebar masrei, because when she's in exile, or when he's in exile outside of his place. Malchus nikra az braisa, and Malchus is called the Braisa, and when it's outside. So bar itself is yisod, so Braisa is Malchus. So it makes a distinction between bar and Braisa, yisod and Malchus. V'hu b'tikun Zohar, tikun kaf alaf tafnun gimel mud beis. Vayin mashikaz minyan bar b'likudei Torah Parshas Shmini. Look what it says about the concept of bar. Likudei Torah b'bir al pasuk l'v'yasan zeh yatzarta binyan pirush bar. where it explains that the concept of the Levyasan and the Shura bar, and the ox that's outside, the ox of the bar, and what its concept is. Ki Shiur hu Yisod, because Shiur itself is Yisod. K'mo shekaz b'mikdash melech reish Parshas Shmini, sh'lechein nemar al Yosef b'chor shoro hadar lo. That's why it says about Yosef that he's the firstborn ox, and beauty is to him. K'shenikra Shiur habar, and when he's called the ox that's outside, Hainu, the ox of the wild, Hainu Kishanim Shach Lebar Masrei, that is to say, when the ox goes outside of its place, Hainu Bibiyah, that is to say, in the lower worlds, Rabbi Yosef. That's the concept of Yisod as it's Nimshach, outside of its Silus. V'zevurav Tfuos B'koach Shiur, and that's the concept of great produce with the strength of the ox. Yes, Rav and Bar are the same letters. Look what it says about this concept of the river that's dried and desolate in Pardes. Ubizor Truma, Kuf Samervav Sufamud Bez, Parshas Breshis, Tavavamud Bez, Yechirav Bebayis Rishon, Vayavesh Bebayis Sheni. So that this verse refers to the destruction of the first and second temple, desolate by the first temple and dried by the second temple. And the flow from above. And Likutei Torah B'Shas Yektimur explains because the first temple that refers to Chachma, Shigam Sham Yechirav V'Istalek B'Chinasam Shachas Gilui Elukusis, but that even the flow of Chachma will be desolate and will go away, that flow and revelation of Elukus may be blessed. How much more so when it's dried in the second temple, Shogili Hamidos, which is refers to the revelation of the emotional attributes. Shibilavavo, that's in the heart, Vadavar Tolei B'Tshuva Chulu, and it's all dependent on Tshuva to bring it back. Vadavar Tolei B'Tshuva Chulu, B'Zohar Parshas Shemos, Daf Tesamud Beis Pirush. And in Zohar it explains on this, V'Neviu Ilah Istalik Mehahu Nevia, the Kaima Allah, that the supernal flow goes away from that spring that stands there upon her. Like the pasuk says in Yeshaya that the tzaddik is gone, meaning the flow from Yisod. So the Mikdash Melech explains this Zohar and says that supernal flow that refers to Yisod Abba, Hameir b'Yisod Zah, that shines into Yisod of Zeranpin, Istalik Milahayir b'Yisod Zah, no longer shines into Yisod Zah. V'zeu hatzadik Yisod Zah avad shafa nimshach mechach milachul. And when it says that the tzaddik is lost, it means that the tzaddik Yisod of Zeranpin is lost, its flow that's drawn from above, from supernal wisdom of Chachmei Law. Hanimshach mechach milachul. V'ayim mizeh be'ori or betchilas osif gimel. Vaz nikri Yisod Zah bar, and then Yisod Zah is called the outside flow. V'malchus hamikabelas mimenu nikra braisa, and then malchus that receives from it is called the braisa. V'im kein muvan shebechinas yichud zeh inu hamshachas or chadash mechachmei la, and if so, this union is not drawing down a new light from Chachmei La Shebashora Ein Sof, Ki'im Bechinas Aras Chachma Shekvar Nimshach, but rather from the flow of Chachma that's already come down. So this outside Yichud, I guess, that what it already had and lost, that's what's drawing down. Like the concept of grasses that grow wild. And the Rebbe says on the bottom, Al derech safichim nispor bepardes, Sof Sharches, Torah or Parshas Vayigash, Tibur HaMaschil Vayilakid Yosef. Meaning that things still grow if you don't water your garden or field. And he doesn't mention it, but it also mentions this in Perek Chaf of Avihu V'Chayoi in the end there. How the produce that you get from avoda is has much greater quality than things that grow on their own. And that's why the braisos are called the concubines, that the light of wisdom does not shine into them in a revealed state, but rather in a concept of being hidden. Or you could say that in Mishnayos you draw down the supernal wisdom, and inside of the Chochmah law is the Kav from the infinite light that's enclosed within it, within the Chochmah. Like it's brought in the Biurei Zohar Vayishlach on the verse that your ways, Hashem, are straightforward. So the concept of the Brisa then is, in comparison, that you only draw down the external vessel of Chachma, that the Kav is not enclosed in. It's a difference between what's Nimshach B'Pnimius. Is the Kav there in a hidden state, or is it not there? Kigam ilfa amar mi'ika midi bebraisad la pashitna la mimas nisin. Because Ilfa said, what do you have in a brisa that you cannot learn from a Mishnah? Mishnah brisa al derech klal uprad, because the Mishnah and the brisa is like the general and the particular. Because to a great man, you don't have to state in particular all the details. So the Mishnah includes everything because it has, I guess, the Ohr Hatorah Shemos. Like it says in the Mamer, like the eagle that awakens, that on Matan Torah, we saw what was heard, and we heard what was seen, that there was no division between the seeing and the hearing, but they were rather included together, which is not the case afterwards, that it was divided Ein Sham. Similarly, the concept of Mishnah is an Atzilus Sham ba nichlal kol hapratim. In it is included all the details, just like, I guess, hearing and seeing were all included together. Sham ba nichlal kol hapratim shebebraisa. In the Mishnah is included all the details of the Braisa. In Braisa shibiyah, therefore Braisa, which is the world's abiyat sirasiya. Tzarech liosis chalkus lepratim. It has to be divided into its details. Yoser even more. Zeunin lashon Braisa. And that's the language of Braisa Shulashon Bar, which is the language of outside, Bar Megufa, outside the body, Bibiyah, in the worlds of Bria Yitzira Siya, Imkenu Inyan Datzilus Bashamai De Levush, Chachma de Bria Yitzira. If so, it's a concept of Atzilus coming down, and a garment of wisdom of Bria Yitzira, Alkein Nikta Pelagshim Chulu, therefore it's called the concubines. Efshar Lumal Derech Zamashem Rizal. And we can say similarly what our sages said, Pelagshim him below chuppah v'kiddushin, the concubines are without chuppah and kiddushin, ki'inyan ha'kiddushin kodesh b'chinas chachma, because that's the concept of kiddushin, of betrothal is the concept of wisdom, v'chuppah or makif, and the chuppah is an encompassing light, v'azay ha'yichud she'achakach, nimshach matzmius chachmei law, therefore the yichud that's afterwards is drawn from the supernal chachmei law. It's be able to draw down the Kodesh. And the Yichud, it's able to draw down a higher level of Yichud because of the Chuppah and Kiddushin. Parshas Habracha b'dibur hamaschil Torah tziva lanu chulu v'ayin mashakasav b'inyan Kiddushin v'Yichud b'dibur hamaschil tov l'chasos. Look what's brought about the concept of Kiddushin and Yichud in the Mamer about it's good to take cover under Hashem Like the statement, make us holy, make us kodesh with your mitzvos. And give us your portion in your Torah, our portion in your Torah, which is not the case with concubines, below chuppah v'kedushin. That's without chuppah and kedushin. So the union does not come from the essence of chachma, only from an external glimmer, from the concept of that which falls down from chachma, so to speak. Similarly to what's brought in Torah Ohr, that you can't draw down the inner light unless you first draw down the encompassing light. So if so, the concubine, which is without the preface of the chuppah and the kiddushin that encompass shehim or ros makifim, which are these encompassing lights, in hor pnimi nimshach mechachmei lamamash. So you can't truly draw down the light from this supernal wisdom, only from that which fell down. Similar to what's brought in another place on that he established Edus testimony in Yaakov in Torah he placed in Israel. And the Rebbe says on the bottom, should be Yisrael nimshach Torah mamash matzmius chachmei la, that in Yisrael you draw down Torah truly from the essence of the supernal wisdom. Aval b'Yaakov nimshach rak edus v'haras chachma chulu, but in Yaakov, as opposed to Yisrael, is only draw down the edus, the testimony of it, and not it itself, the glimmer of the chachma. And we can say that therefore you have 60 queens and 80 concubines. Because Malchus is 60. That receives, because Malchus receives from Yisod, which is an Atzilus, which is the sixth candle. When you have the candle, the emotional attributes as the candles. So that's why Malchus is 60. But the concubines, which are receiving from Yisod when it's outside of its place, that is when it's clothed in Yisod Bria and Yitzira, Matat, which is the concept of Matat. Therefore they're 80. Yisod Atzilus Shu Shishi, Melubish Bisod Bria Yitzira, because Yisod of Atzilus, which is the sixth one, is enclosed in two more in the Yisod of Bria and Yitzira. If so, that's 8 altogether. They call Echad Kalol Miyud, and each one is composed of 10. Him pays, that's 80. Val Zehu Mura Yosef, Yosef, who Yisod Chul, and this is what Yosef hints to, that Yosef is Yisod. And the Rebbe says on the bottom, Val Zehu Mura Yosef, Tzarech Iyun Yosef Mandach Rashmekan, it needs to be understood, needs to be looked into. Who mentioned Yosef here? Why does it have anything to do with this? And possibly we can say that Yosef is the letters Yud Vav, which hints to a flow into Chochma and into Zeranpin. Ohr Hatorah Breshis, Biel Dibra Maskul Machar Chodesh Perek Vav, Umramis Kan Des Samach de Yosef Mural Ham Shacha B'Yisod Atzilus. And then he's hinting here that the Samach of Yisod hints to the flow into Yisod of Atzilus. That's 60. The Mishnah. Upei di Yisod al Hamshacha Kishul Bar Masrei, and the pay of Yosef hints to the flow when it's outside of its place. The 60 and the 80 of the Mishnayos and the Baraisos. And back inside. Vayin mashikaz bebir machar chodesh. Binyan Yehonasan v'David. Yehonasan Yesod Debriya. Look what it says in the Mamer Chodesh, how Yehonasan and David, Yehonasan is the Yesod of the world of Bria. And the Rebbe says on the bottom, Biur Macha Chodesh, Nirfas Ohr Hatorah Parshas. That the union of Yehonasan and David is like the union of Yesod and Malchus. But I guess Yehonasan wanted to unite with David in the Sadeh outside of the world of Atzilus. Like he said, Biyom Shenistata Sham Biyom Hamasa. Vaymash goes Val Pasuk Vani Besocha Golal Nahar Kfar. Look what it says about the concept I'm in the exile on the river of Kfar, but I guess it's Kaf Bar. Vayn Mize Bezor Parshas Bereshis Daf Vav Amud Beis B'Tipur HaMaschil Sof Amud Beis Gabi Lokarov Da Yosef B'Mikdash Melech Sham. You have Shalom L'Rachok U'Lekarov. So I guess these two kinds of Shalom also represent these two kinds of Yichud. The Karov is Yosef. Oidi Shalom Mark Mevor B'Pirush Dodi Shalafamim HaYichud Elyon Nimshach L'Idei Tiferes. Or you could say, like it's explained in the word Dodi, my beloved, Shir HaShirim, that sometimes the union, the supernal union, is drawn through Tiferes. And then you draw down the drop from a high place, and that it says on the bottom about Dodi. Back inside. So sometimes the Yichud comes from Tiferes, and sometimes the Yichud comes from Yisod. But then the root of the union of this flow does not come from such a high place. Because the Tiferes, which is the middle pillar, is called the rich man. Yisod nikra dal, and Yisod in comparison is called the poor man. And the rich man is only in the concept of das. And in Tiferes nikra vav. Now Tiferes is called the vav, hu shishi lekeser, and so is also the sixth one. When you count down from keser, keser chochma bina chesed gvur Tiferes. So that's then the concept of the 60 queens. 60 are the queens. Havav mekabel miyud, that the vav receives from the yud. Kana, like we said, Gam Pirush Hema, and so too the word Hema, Shishim Hema Malachos. What does it mean? And then when it says they are, Shema Mishich Bittel Mebechinas Shema, because Hema is composed of the word Ma, that you're drawing down into the queens the concept of Shema, the Bittel, a state of nullification in this Yichud. Vayisod Shu Shmini LeChachma Nisod, which is the eighth to Chachma. Pirush Echad, like it's explained in the concept of what does it mean Echad, Aleph and Ches and Daled. Then I guess the Ches is the Yisod and the Daled is the Malchus. So that's the concept of the 80 concubines, the Ches times 10. V'gam Yisod b'gamatria shmonim, so to Yisod is the gematria of 80, the concept of the Yisod in comparison to Tiferes. And the Rebbe says on the bottom about Kemosh Goz b'Pirush Echad, Zorech Elegimel Rishon Zayin Aleph. Kitzer, Shabraisus Nikra Upli Lagshim, so in short we said that the Braisus are the concubines, Holich b'Matmonim, and goes in a secret way, b'Mach Shakim Hoshivani, like Talmud Bavli, that you've placed me in darkness. Leprakim, and that you draw down at certain times is the concept of, with this, the young maiden comes to the king. The elevation of the Shemos into Atzilus, the Michal the Malach, the Kohen Gadol, Nimshach Bem Tipas Chachma Elah, is drawn into them the supernal drop of Chachma. Nikra Pelegesh Yetzim Mechlal Bria. So it's called a Pelegesh, so because it's no longer included within the world of Bria. Nonetheless, it has not reached the level of the 10 spheres of Atzilus, that in the 10 spheres is included the Kav, which is not the case with the Neshamos. Similarly, the concept of the Bryce in comparison to the Mishnah, revelation of the supernal wisdom, the Yisod Atzilus, the Yisod of Atzilus, Mashen Kim Bebraisa Nashguvar, which is not the case with the Braisa. Kiss outside, or purify outside Shurabar. It's the concept of the Shurabar in comparison to the Levyasan. Verav Tfuas B'Korach Shor, but you get much produce with the strength of the ox. V'Nahar Yecharav Yavesh, and the river is dried up and desolate in the first and second temples. Hatzadik Avad, and the flow from Yesod of the Tzadik is gone. From above, only is left over the what falls down from a chachma, or the grass that grows on its own. And that's the concept of the concubines that are without chuppah and kedushin of the makifim beforehand. Therefore, because they receive. You have these 80 concubines because they receive from Yisod, Bria, and Yetzirah. Inami Mishnayos Mekabli Mitiferas Ubraisus Miyosod, or you could say the Mishnayos receive from Tiferas and Braisus get from Yisod.